The quiet suburban neighborhood looked like the kind of place where nothing dramatic ever happened. Perfectly trimmed lawns, identical mailboxes, and the kind of silence you'd expect from a Sunday afternoon. But on that day, everything changed, because one HOA board member decided she had the power to control everyone around her. What she didn't realize was that the man she was about to confront had a brother who worked for the FBI. It started with a simple thing: a black pickup truck parked in front of a modest two-story house on Maple Ridge Drive. The truck belonged to Daniel Carter, a software engineer who had recently moved into the neighborhood. Daniel was quiet, polite, and mostly kept to himself. He worked from home, occasionally stepped outside to walk his dog, and never caused any trouble. But to Karen Whitmore, the self-appointed guardian of the neighborhood and head of the HOA Compliance Committee, that truck was a problem. Karen had built a reputation around the neighborhood. She was the type of person who measured grass height with a ruler, took pictures of trash cans that were left outside for too long, and mailed violation notices for the smallest things. To her, the HOA rules were sacred law, and Daniel's truck, it wasn't on the approved vehicle list. That afternoon, Karen marched across the street holding a clipboard and a phone camera, already recording. Her heels clicked sharply against the pavement as she approached Daniel's driveway. Daniel had just stepped outside to grab a package when Karen's voice suddenly cut through the calm air. "Excuse me? Are you the owner of this vehicle?" Daniel turned slowly, confused. Yeah, that's mine." Karen tilted her head and began tapping her pen against the clipboard like a judge preparing a verdict. "This truck violates HOA Regulation 7B, subsection 4 regarding oversized commercial vehicles. You'll need to remove it immediately or face a $500 fine." Daniel blinked. "It's a pickup truck." Karen raised her voice. "It is not an approved vehicle type for street visibility standards." Daniel tried to stay calm. "I've parked here for 2 weeks. No one said anything." Karen stepped closer, now pointing the camera directly at his face. "Consider this your official warning. If the truck is here tomorrow, I'll have it towed." Daniel sighed and shook his head. "You can't tow a legally registered vehicle parked at my own house." Karen smirked like she had just caught him in a lie. "Oh, honey, the HOA can do a lot more than you think." Neighbors were starting to peek through curtains. A couple walking their dogs slowed down to watch. The quiet street was slowly turning into an audience. Daniel kept his voice steady. "Look, I'll review the HOA guidelines, but I'm pretty sure a standard pickup is allowed." Karen laughed loudly. "Are you arguing with me? I've been on this HOA board for 8 years." Daniel shrugged. "I'm just saying I'd like to check the rules first." Karen's expression hardened instantly. "Fine, then I'll call enforcement." She stepped back dramatically and pulled out her phone, dialing while keeping the camera aimed at Daniel. Within minutes, a police cruiser rolled slowly down Maple Ridge Drive. Officer Ramirez stepped out of the car, adjusting his belt and glancing between Daniel and Karen. Karen immediately rushed over. "Officer, thank goodness you're here. This man is refusing to comply with HOA regulations." Officer Ramirez looked puzzled. "Ma'am, HOA violations aren't usually police matters." Karen pointed aggressively toward the truck. "That vehicle violates neighborhood policy and he refuses to remove it." Ramirez turned to Daniel. "Sir, is everything okay here?" Daniel nodded calmly. "Yeah, I live here. She just doesn't like my truck." The officer glanced at the vehicle and then back at Karen. "Ma'am, this looks like a normal pickup truck." Karen's face flushed red. "But it's against HOA rules." Ramirez sighed. "Even if it is, that's a civil issue." Karen crossed her arms angrily. "Then I'll have it towed myself." That's when Daniel pulled out his phone. He dialed someone and spoke quietly. "Hey man, remember that HOA situation I mentioned? Yeah, it's happening now." There was a short pause. "Yeah, Maple Ridge Drive." Karen rolled her eyes. "Calling your lawyer won't help." Daniel simply smiled. 10 minutes later, a black SUV pulled slowly into the street. 2 men stepped out. One of them flashed a badge. "Special Agent Michael Carter, FBI." Karen froze instantly. Her confident posture collapsed like a house of cards.
Daniel leaned casually against his truck. "Karen, meet my brother." Agent Carter looked at the situation calmly. "Someone called local police over a parked vehicle?" Officer Ramirez nodded. "Pretty much." Karen tried to regain control. "This is HOA business." Agent Carter raised an eyebrow. "And why exactly did you involve law enforcement?" Karen hesitated. "Well, he refused to follow rules." Agent Carter glanced at the truck again. "Looks legal." Daniel chuckled quietly. Neighbors were now standing outside, watching openly. Karen's voice became shaky. I was just enforcing the community guidelines." Agent Carter spoke calmly but firmly. "Ma'am, threatening to tow someone's legally parked vehicle and filing unnecessary police complaints can actually cross into harassment." Karen's face went pale. Officer Ramirez cleared his throat. "Honestly, yeah." Karen suddenly looked very small compared to the confident energy she had shown earlier. Daniel folded his arms. "So, are we done here?" Karen didn't answer. She turned around silently and walked back towards her house. The crowd slowly dispersed. Officer Ramirez laughed softly. "Well, that escalated." Daniel grinned. "Yeah, it usually does." Agent Carter placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. "Next time, just call me sooner." And just like that, the most powerful person in the neighborhood learned a lesson she would never forget. Sometimes the neighbor you underestimate has connections you never saw coming. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe because the next one might be even crazier.